All right, so the story right here is called Good News versus Bad News from the Work, The Completion, The Mystery by Robert Smith III. One would say that bad news is horrible, but if you know the ending to the story, it may not seem to be so horrible. Yes, Jesus Christ was crucified and died there on the cross, but he is the only man that ever defeated death 3 days after dying on the cross. Put your thoughts in perspective. When the world gives you bad news, don't go giving up and singing the blues. Think of where you are trying to go. Always think positive. Even in the worst of times, always think positive. What should be done in this particular situation? A man has been longing for good news, but it never comes about in his situation. He is fed little by little each day by positivity in his spirit. When bad news comes, he feels weighed down in his spirit. What he should do is keep filling his head with positive thoughts, for this shall always bring about good news, no matter how much bad news is brought. There goes that fiddle again, with the cat playing in the middle. No hats needed, impeding the journey a little. The pathway is often beaten and torn up in many places, full of deceit and often full of lying faces. Endure it, I say, endure it to the fullest. There is no feeling on earth like it when you overcome trials to the fullest. Who can be the bearer of such bad news next? It is just one great test. What more should you expect? Let's be real and not be coy about getting to the point. We must always believe the good news is coming, when those who fail often won't. Welcome to the circle of life, the war of good news versus bad news. Every person is part of this war. If you haven't heard, here's the good news. Here's the news. This is what you need to know. Where there is something bad, there is always something good. Look hard to find it, to make the end of your journey prove to be good. Let me tell you this. I see good news everywhere, where seldom do people see it. I see good news everywhere, even in the dark places, even in the hardest of times, even when life has dealt its worst, even in the worst of times. Walking with God teaches me to try to see the good. Even when the world gets worse, try to see the good. Don't give up, even in the darkest of hours. Bear witness of the good always, so the world may witness God's power. The change begins with me, and how I see this world. Even in the most difficult times, I must try to see good in this world. Keep focused, straighten the pathway to heaven, to help others find the best news, and even earn a place in heaven. Amazement and wonder of how bad news doesn't even stand a chance when witnessing the love of God, often unseen at first glance. The story right there is called Good News versus Bad News from the Work, The Completion, The Mystery by Robert Smith III.